lot of people ask me, Beef, should I pull on this banner? Is it worth spending my Dragon Stones on this banner? To which I typically respond, probably not. Luckily, full disclosure, this is a banner that you probably want to throw at least 50 Dragon Stones, maybe 100 Dragon Stones at, if you have the Dragon Stones to actually throw at the banner. The banner we're talking about today, or that we'll be discussing, is the Super Dragonball Heroes World Mission crossover summon, which is a mouthful for sure. No discount summon, unfortunately. You get blue coins, and which is okay, I guess. I can't really remember what sort of units you can get with the blue coins, but I'm pretty sure they're not as good as the Dokkan Fest. The stuff you can get from the Dokkan Fest, like LRs and everything. But a lot of the units on this banner are pretty good. Definitely worth looking at for sure. Even though there's no discount, it is a featured, guaranteed featured SSR, which, as you'll discover, the featured units are a bit of a toss-up. So let's pop in to the scouter here and get started. So first one we get is Silas, or Silas. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. He's not bad. Where did I have it? Okay, let's pop over to the SSR screen so we can see what he looks like when he's Dokkan Awaken. He's one of the few featured units that actually do Dokkan Awaken here, so definitely worth looking at. So leader skill is kind of flexible. All types key plus 3 HP attack and defense plus 70%. It's flexible, but it's not spectacular. Odds are you probably have something better than that by now. So he might come in handy in not SBR, like maybe Dokkan Battlefield or something. He causes immense damage to enemy and greatly lowers defense by 50%. So already his super is pretty strong. Not really gonna help you too much against endgame content that doesn't let you lower defense, but for the content where you can lower defense, it's super helpful. Attack and defense plus 100% when performing a super attack, which is great. So he doubles attack and defense. Artificial life forms category key. Plus 1 attack plus 20%, and same thing with Time Traveler's category. You're probably not really going to be using him for Time Traveler's category, but for Artificial Life Forms, absolutely. Artificial Life Forms definitely needed some new units to kind of shore it up. So I think that was definitely a good addition to his passive there. He also fuses when conditions are met, starting from the 5th turn from the start of the battle. So let's turn him over here. He massively lowers defense now, which is a 80% defense lower. That's absolute insanity. You're just gonna destroy some people. Excuse me. Key plus 3 and attack and defense plus 60%, so he's self-sufficient. He gets a little bit of extra attack and defense, which is nice. And that's in addition to the attack and defense plus 120% when performing a super attack. Actually, performing a super attack might be a little bit difficult for this guy because he doesn't really have many good key links, unfortunately. Shattering the limit, shocking speed, that's about it. So, oh, no, I'm sorry, I take that back because he's self-sufficient. So, I mean, as long as you're running like a plus 3 key, leader and friend, you'd be perfectly fine because it's pretty difficult to not get 3 key. So basically you can just consider this card to have once he's transformed, to have 180% attack and defense at all times, basically, because I do believe he does not come down from his transformation once he transforms, so it's really good. Alright, so moving on to the next one here. Great Saiyaman 3, another card that's not bad, but I was looking over his stuff when before I started, just to like kind of brush up on what is available, and I'm a little disappointed in this one, but I think a lot of people will probably still like him regardless. So let's have a look at him. Super class key plus 3 HP attack and defense plus 80%. Again, it's another one of those leader skills that are kind of flexible. You might use him, but odds are you probably have something better by this point. So you might not. Causes immense damage to enemy and raises super class allies attack plus by 25% for 1 turn. It's not bad. A little bit of support. Attack and defense plus 17% and chance of performing a critical hit plus 3% per time traveler's category ally on the team. So the way it looks, he's essentially a time traveler's category support in this particular case. For some reason, he gets defense negative 30% within the same turn after receiving an attack. I don't understand why that's there. I'm assuming, I mean, I can only assume it's to help balance him out with his counter, because he counters with tremendous power upon receiving normal attack. So 300% power multiplier. I've seen him do some pretty serious damage. But if you don't have anybody to help support him to help like mitigate that damage, he's probably not going to do that great. Because I mean, a lot of counter units in the game have defense boosts or like pure percentage damage mitigation to help with those counters, to help soak up some of that damage while you're taking those counters, to give you a benefit to putting those particular units in front of a bunch of enemy attacks. But this one doesn't. As a matter of fact, it kind of discourages you from doing that. So I mean, if you're running him with like a full time travelers category, like a full time travelers category team, that's the attack and defense bonus is quite a bit. The defense negative 30%, I just don't feel is spectacular. His link skills suck. The only really good ones that he has are Shattering the Limit. Well, the only good one he has, in my opinion, is Shattering the Limit. Patrol, maybe? I guess if you're running him with other Super Dragonball Heroes units, maybe some of the Trunks cards that are coming, well, the one Trunks card that's coming up. It is what it is. Odds are you're probably not going to run this card at all. It's very, very, very niche card. Not really worth using, in my opinion. But within his niche, he's really strong. So moving on to the next guy here, we have Xeno Goku. Immediately you're going to notice that Xeno Goku doesn't actually have a Dokkan Awakening. I don't know why. But that's just how it is. Goku's family category plus key plus 3, HP attack and defense plus 90%. The funny thing about this particular leader skill is that we have a lot of Goku family leaders, and we have a lot of Vegeta family leaders. So the fact that they keep adding more and more just like blows my mind. Because look how many leaders we have. The LR Goku, the Go Bros. Then we also have the Super Saiyan 2 Goku, the Kaioken Goku. Now we have the Xeno Goku and the that special God, I don't remember, the Butoden, Super Butoden one, I think, or whatever. This guy, yeah, Dokkan Butoden. There's so many Goku family cards and Vegeta family cards. It's silly. It's hard not to find a leader for this particular category now. Raises attack, looks like that is by 30%, so he's always gonna be doing an extra 30% damage with the supers. Causes supreme damage to enemy, which is pretty par for the course. Attack and defense plus 77%. Goku family category allies, key plus 2 and attack and defense plus 30%. So essentially he's a supporter for Goku family category that's going to actually do quite well in terms of damage. The interesting part is that he's Goku Zeno. So there's, oops, can't see, can you? Goku Zeno. So you can run him alongside any other base level Goku cards, and I mean, if you have to, you probably won't, but if you have to, this guy does not count against like a base form Goku. So really good. He has good links, as you can see here. Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, Kamehameha, not really so much. They need to change that link. I don't know why they haven't yet. not experienced fighters, but prepare for battle. You're definitely probably going to see these first 3 get activated quite a bit, especially Kamehameha on a Goku family team, because they do a lot of that Kamehameha stuff. As you can guess, the next card on the docket here is the Zeno Vegeta. He's basically the exact same, except he does that little stupid thing where he gets defense instead of attack. So he raises his defense by 30%, so it makes him a little bit tanky. Attack and defense plus 77%. Same supportive, but just same supportive passive, just for Vegeta family. Saiyan Warrior race, prepare for battle. Those are stuff that you're going to see activate a lot, which is okay. Prepare for battle is obviously more important, but Saiyan Warrior race gives you a tiny little bit of attack, which I guess is okay. I mean, at 107%, that's still about 1,400, a little over 1,400. So, I mean, it is what it is. Basically, you're only really going to be running this guy on a Vegeta family team, and even then, you probably might not, unless you're really struggling to get Vegeta family units. Which, by this point, if you're like a mid tier, like mid game player, like you're 300, 400, 500 days in, odds are you're gonna fill out a Vegeta family team no problem. So at the very least, he has a leader skill, so probably gonna be useful for newbies, and probably gonna be useful for those mid-tier players that don't have one yet, that didn't pull the LR Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. All right, so we're actually funny enough, we're about halfway through. So next up is the Super Saiyan 3 Teen Gohan, and just to throw it in there, also Super Saiyan 3 Trunks. These units, I think that Dokkan, I think Bandai Namco probably assumed that we were never going to get Dragon Ball Heroes units, because they actually have Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and a Super Saiyan 3 GT Vegeta with the same exact passives, the same exact leader skills, and similar super attack statistics that were given to us quite a ways back. So basically, these units are carbon copies of those particular units, which is a bit of a head scratcher for me. I figured that they would at least try to buff the cards to make them more desirable compared, but these units were originally basically designed to fill in holes in the Super Saiyan 3 category. And these cards are really good. Full disclosure, the Gohan is better than the Trunks, and you'll see why here in just a moment as I pop open the SSR screen once I figure out where to click shit. Alright, there we go. So Super Saiyan 3 Gohan causes supreme damage to enemy and raises attack for 9 turns. So that's 30% boost, which is really nice. The leader skill, not that great. Odds are you have a Rainbow Int team leader skill that's equivalent or better than that, but it is what it is. Passive skill. Attack and defense plus 100%, so unconditional. As soon as he pops out, double attack and defense, which is great. He gets plus an additional attack and defense plus 60% when performing a super attack. So as long as you're supering with Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, he's always going to have 160% attack and defense. So that makes him tanky. It makes him hit hard. He doesn't really support or anything, but odds are you're really only going to be running this unit on a Super Saiyan 3 category team. But he might have a space in Hybrid Saiyans if you're having a hard time filling in all the categories, or all the slots for that particular category. So his link skills are pretty good. Super Saiyan, Saiyan Lineage, Saiyan Warrior Race, Over in a Flash, Limit Breaking Form, Shattering the Limit. Odds are he's not going to have too much trouble having Ki. Actually, you know, having the Ki to launch a super attack, because most of the other Super Saiyan 3 units have these particular links. Especially Over in a Flash and Limit Breaking Form, and Shattering the Limit, I believe, as well. So, well, Shattering the Limit most importantly, but you get the idea. You're not going to have too much trouble launching a super attack with Super Saiyan 3 Gohan here. And as I said before, the next one is the Super Saiyan 3 Trunks. Not as good as the Gohan. Gohan is definitely much better. He definitely is going to do more damage. This one does that annoying convention where it's a Vegeta family unit and it gets defense instead of attack. So defense by 30% for 9 turns. To be fair, he does double attack and defense when he comes out, which is nice. It makes him tanky, makes him hit harder than he should. Realistically, he disables enemies' guard, so he's always going to be doing the most damage he can do. It's not going to be as good as Gohan, if I'm not mistaken, but it's still not too bad. High chance of guarding all attacks, 50%. Basically, it's basically a coin flip. Whenever he's getting attacked by anything, you flip a coin, and he might take half damage from it. So it's not too bad. You can definitely do worse than a coin flip on something as important as guarding all attacks. His link skills definitely don't put him in a good spot to link with Super Saiyan 3 Gohan. Super Saiyan, Golden Warrior, Over in a Flash, Limit Breaking, Force Shattering the Limit. I mean, he'll link okay with the Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, but he's obviously not going to link the whole way through, which is a shame, because if they did at least fairly similar link skills across the board, I think that these two would have been definitely something to consider running on like a Super Saiyan 3 team, or at least running together, not as floaters. He's a time traveler's category unit, so I mean, it's if you're having trouble having a filling out that category, which you might, he's decent to put in there for sure. All right. So last but not least, we have Darkness Toa, which is interesting, but she also Dokkan Awakens. So again, we're gonna pop open the SSR thing here. Agility type key +3 to HP attack and defense plus 80%. Causes supreme damage and lowers attack, which is not that great. It's 20%, but it's less damage you're taking, so pretty good for SBR. As you're looking over her passive skill here, you'll realize that she's essentially a Realm of Gods support. Not specifically Realm of God support, but she's in the oh, never mind, I'm thinking of the wrong one. Peppy Gals. She's definitely okay on Peppy Gals, even though her passive is not really going to help her out too much. Resurrected Warriors, Time Travelers perhaps for category. The category's kind of blah here, but as far as the passive goes, Extreme Class Allies key +3 attack and defense plus 30%. Extreme Class Allies get 50% attack and defense and recovers 100% HP when HP is 30% or less. So she's basically an extreme class supporter. I wouldn't even really consider running her. Like Dokkan, she's still kind of disappointing. Doesn't do immense damage. Her link skills are pretty meh. You're not gonna really find anybody to link with her, unless like a Peppy Gals unit, maybe the rare one. Like you could probably throw this one on Peppy Gals and she'll do okay. The most attractive part of her is that she basically gives you 100% HP when HP is 30% or less when she comes out. So good for SBR, maybe. You could probably make a case of putting her into Resurrected Warriors, because most of the good units on Resurrected Warriors are all extreme type anyway. So, you know, on further reflection, she's probably best suited for Resurrected Warriors, and the rest of these categories are a toss-up. So we basically got to the end of the featured units. Most of these, in my opinion, aren't that spectacular. The C-Lass is probably what I would consider to be the jackpot unit, followed closely by the Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, the Super Saiyan 3 Trunks, and then the rest of them are like good consolation prizes. Interesting enough, these aren't the only Super Dragon Ball Heroes cards on this banner. There's a 7% chance to get any of these cards when you pull a featured card, but there's a 3% chance to get some of the other Dragon Ball Heroes units. I don't understand why they didn't put all of them in as featured units. It would have oversaturated it, sure, but some of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes units that you can get on that 3% chance are really, really good. So, unfortunately, we can't really look at them in the Scouter because they don't appear on the Scouter. So we're going to have to open up the SSR. I prepared myself for this one, so we're going to open up the SSR window yet again and look at some of the new ones. So, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Zeno. Strength type key +3, HP attack and defense +70%. I don't know why they didn't make it 80%, but whatever, it's weird. Causes immense damage with a medium chance of stunning the enemy, which is, yeah, 30%. Not too bad. Attack and defense +80% and guard activated against all attacks, which is really good. Plus an additional attack +30% when performing a super attack. So essentially, considering his lengths and considering where you're probably going to be running him, which is the Super Saiyan 3 category, makes him a solid addition to this particular to that particular category. The other ones, not so much. You're obviously gonna have way better stuff for Goku's family. You're gonna have better stuff. You're probably gonna have better stuff for time travelers. Pure Saiyans, you will absolutely have better stuff, especially if you're end game player, mid game player probably as well. So his link skills are about what you'd expect for a Super Saiyan 3, which means that Super Saiyan 3s are essentially, I mean, I don't really think them very highly, but this one does cause immense damage, and it's probably going to get a Dokkan at some point, which will make it even better. So really the only team it fits is Super Saiyan 3. It's sad to say. You can't, I mean, there's really no way to slot it in anywhere else. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta Zeno. Just like Goku, he does super physical, type key +3, HP attack defense +70%. I don't know why not 80%, but immense damage and greatly lowers defense, which is, it basically cuts the enemy defense by half, which is really good. Attack and defense +80% and disables enemy guard, so he's always going to be doing the max damage that he can do on any particular turn. He gets plus an additional 50% attack when performing a super attack. So, if I'm not, I mean, honestly, I think he'll probably do more damage than the Zeno Goku does, which is ironic, but very nice, especially with the defense lowering super attack. So you get him in there. He supers, you get him around the next time, he's going to be doing even more damage. So, pretty good. Definitely good for end-game content. I think this unit will probably be a little bit better. But unfortunately, he's still probably only going to be any good on Super Saiyan 3 category. But link skills are okay, about what you expect from a Super Saiyan 3 over in a Flash Limit Breaking form. Super Saiyan, Golden Warrior, it's just okay. Not a bad unit. Not a bad unit. Definitely not a bad unit to pull for sure. So moving on. Supreme Kai of Time, showing off her amazing assets. Leader skill is like Vegeta and Goku. It's super tech, key +3 HP attack and defense +70%. Unfortunately, she only does supreme damage. I don't know why they just didn't throw her a bone and give her immense damage, but whatever. She also seals super attack 100%. I'm on the record as being the sort of person who's not a huge fan of super attack sealing and stunning, because a lot of the endgame content where that stuff matters, you're not really going to be using that. It's not really going to be something that becomes a factor, because a lot of endgame content has units that are immune to sealing and they're immune to stunning. So it's a nice addition when it comes into to effect, like use. Otherwise, it's just kind of pointless. So let's see. Sorry, all allies key +2 attack and defense +20% and chance of performing a critical hit +7%. Great chance of an additional attack +20% for all allies. Great chance of an additional 20 defense +20% for all allies. So looks like a 70% chance. That's not bad, actually. 70%. That's going to activate quite often. As you can see, she is very much a support unit. She's not going to be doing a ton of damage. But the additional critical hit and the additional key, the key battery status, makes her useful. Really the only category that I could feasibly apply this particular unit into is Realm of Gods. Potara, absolutely not. Time Travelers, maybe Time Travelers, but she's clearly made for to be a supporter for Realm of Gods. So critical hit plus 7%. That's going to have crits, make you proc crits fairly often, which is quite nice. So throw her in as like a floater for Realm of Gods, and you'll find yourself critting way more often, especially if you have a dupe or two into your Realm of Gods units. So odds are you're probably not going to use this unit on Realm of Gods, but the art is spectacular. Who doesn't like Supreme Kai of Time? I know I do. When she's unleashed her power of time. So kind of mediocre card. I'm not a huge fan of support units, mostly because I feel like there's a lot more just normal units that support as better, if not like as good as, or if not better. God, I can't talk today. They can support as good as, if not better, than actual support cards. So I don't know, I just can't really see anybody putting this unit on Realm of Gods regardless, but there's a decent argument for potentially doing it, but you might not want to. Next up, Seal of the Demon Realm, Black Mask Saiyan. Who the hell could this guy be? We don't know. Big question mark. Who knows? Extreme AGL, extreme agility, 3, 70%, blah blah blah. Immense damage modifier, which is great. Lowers attack and defense. I think that's about 30%, 20%. Yeah. For 3 turns, which is nice, but kind of meaningless for that end game content where that stuff doesn't apply. Attack and defense plus 90% when key is 6 or more. I mean, if you're running him on a category with the right leader and friend, you're going to start with key plus 6. So we can basically consider this attack and defense plus 90% to be active 100% of the time. Plus he gets an additional attack and defense plus 30% when key is 8 or more, and key plus 2 when key is 10 or more. So as long as you can get 10 key with this unit, which is very, very difficult not to, unless you're just like god awful at the game, he's always going to be supering. He's always going to be doing hella good damage. His link skills, I mean, at least he has prepare for battle, stay in lineage, stay in warrior race, which is okay. You can, like, this guy does pretty good damage. You can, he's also kind of tanky too. Basically 120% attack and defense at all times, so he's going to be soaking up a little bit of damage. So you can probably make an argument to put him on a Vegeta's family team. I mean, if I were the kind of person to run time travelers, I probably would put this card on that team, especially right now when there's not a ton of super good cards. Pure Saiyans, that's gonna be kind of tough. That's gonna be a tough argument to make for Pure Saiyans, because odds are you probably have better units. Dokkan Fest exclusive stuff that's going to be doing more damage, stuff that's going to link better all around. But he's good. You could, like I said, you could probably make an argument, put him on Vegeta's family. Maybe like fairly good odds you're gonna consider putting him on time travelers. But he's not bad. He doesn't Dokkan Awaken, unfortunately, but I'm sure at some point they're gonna Dokkan Awaken a lot of these Dragon Ball Heroes units that don't have Dokkan Awakening. So that's something to look forward to, because it might make them even more meta relevant than they already are, especially for the ones that actually need it, like the Supreme Tits of Time. Moving on from the mysterious Saiyan, we have Super Mira. Extreme strength, you know the stats, you don't even have to say it by now. Greatly raises defense, which makes him quite tanky, 50% for 99 turns, which is really good. Supreme damage is, they should have just threw him immense damage, I don't know why they didn't. Attack plus 100% and disables enemy guard. Attack enemies, attack and defense negative 20%. Definitely a good candidate for a Dokkan Awakening for sure, because these, I mean, it kind of makes him a little tanky, and he can do okay damage because he disables enemy guard. So he's always going to be doing some of the best damage that he can do. The debuff, negative 20%, feels sort of meaningless. You're definitely going to have a hard time putting him into his categories. Resurrected Warriors, odds are you have way better stuff to put in there than the Super Mira. Androids, you could probably make an argument for slotting him into androids. Time travelers, maybe artificial life forms, possibly. Artificial life forms is kind of right now. It hasn't really come into its own. So Super Mira, you could probably make an argument for slotting into artificial life forms if you pulled Super Baby off of the GT banner that was here not that long ago. His link skills are interesting. Android Assault, Demon Duo, Berserker, Tough as Nails, Nightmare, Fear and Faith. I don't know why he doesn't have big bad bosses, but yeah, he's he exists. He's a card. He goes on certain categories. Some he might fit into better than others, which is really what you can say for a lot of Super Dragon Ball Heroes units. They're very niche. But when they fill in that niche, they're usually pretty good. Alright, moving on to the next one. We have Demigra Mack Yuka form. Mack Yuka? I don't know. Don't even have to talk about the leader skill. We already know what it is. Greatly raises attack for 1 turn, which is good. 50% super attack modifier. Supreme damage. I don't know why they didn't just give him immense. They should have just gave people immense across the board. Why not? Immense for everybody. He's sort of like the Super Mira, attack plus 120%. Extreme class allies, key plus 3, which makes him a decent key battery. All enemies attack and defense negative 20%. What makes him feel better than Super Mira is that all enemies get that debuff. He doesn't have to attack a specific enemy to apply that debuff. He comes out, he does, oh my goodness, attack and defense. He debuffs them for negative 20% attack and defense, which immediately kind of puts him above and in front of Super Mira in terms of usefulness. His link skills are crap. Let's just come out and say, I mean, let's just be honest with each other here. His link skills are straight ass. So you're probably not going to be using him to link with anybody. Category Resurrected Warriors. Even being better than Super Mira, you're gonna have a hard time slotting him into Resurrected Warriors more than likely. Realm of Gods is another category where you're probably not going to slot him in. Most of the units that you can already put into Realm of Gods that have come around multiple times are going to be better picks than Demigra here for sure. Time Travelers is another one that, like I've said before, hasn't really come into its own quite yet, so you might be able to slot him into that particular category. But at that point, if you're running mostly extreme type allies, odds are you're basically just running a Potara team at that point. So I don't know, it's like I want to like him so bad, but he's his own worst enemy. Maybe if and when he Dokkan awakens sometime in the future, then maybe he'll actually be considered for a slot in the categories he's in. Last but not least, we have Darkmass King. Who could this be? Another mysterious Saiyan. We don't know who it is. Big head scratcher, no idea. Immense damage to enemy and lowers attack and defense, which is pretty good. Attack and defense debuff at 20%, which is really good. Attack and defense plus 80%, which is good. Plus an additional defense plus 70% for 4 turns after receiving attack. So you can kind of place him in front of a bunch of attacks. And after the first attack, he's going to be soaking damage even better. 10% of damage dealt is recovered as HP, which I love these sorts of passives, especially on units that deal immense damage. Very, very strong unit. Link skills are pretty good. You're gonna see a lot of these on, obviously, on Vegeta family characters, which is why he is on Vegeta's family, because it's King Vegeta. But time travelers, maybe. Pure Saiyans, maybe. That's a big maybe. There's so many good units for Pure Saiyans now that it's, if you've been playing any decent amount of time, oops, my bad. If you've been playing any decent amount of time, wow, have I really been talking that long? Jeez. Yeah, 34 minutes, holy crap. All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's wrap this up. So there's so many good Pure Saiyans units that finding a place to slot this particular unit in is going to be difficult. But he's good to keep around because odds are he's going to be another one of those units that get a Dokkan Awakening in the future that might push him into the meta for Pure Saiyans, for Vegeta's family. So yeah, there it is. That's all the Dragon Ball Heroes cards that are on the banner, both featured and unfeatured. I mean, I hate to say it, but there's not a whole lot of jackpot cards on this particular banner. I would say, like I said at the very start, throwing like maybe 50 Dragon Stones or 100 Dragon Stones at this banner is okay, because you might get the units that are actually good. So let's go ahead and do at least 1 or 2 multi-summons here. Hopefully we get one of the good cards. My hopes aren't high, especially now. Boy, oh boy, am I getting a shaft? Sure feels like it. This looks like it's gonna be a junk multi already. That's great. Oh, okay. Well, Zeno Goku. Okay. Coming right out the gate with Zeno Goku, man. I don't know why it's being so laggy, but what's our last SSR? Hey, okay, yeah, sure, I'll take it. It can definitely have done way worse in terms of featured cards. I do believe the featured and unfeatured cards are the only ones that you're going to find on this particular banner, but I don't really run Super Saiyan 3 as a category, but if I ever need to, I do have the Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, so at least I have a good unit to run alongside him. Alright, do another multi-summon. I'm feeling lucky. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Let's get that Vegito. Oh my god, go away, Krillin! Jesus Christ. Alright, whatever. Rainbow. We might actually get a couple of SSRs from this one. I don't know why it's being so laggy. Not even using up a whole lot of resources. Ooh. Okay. Alright, Krillin. Give me all the SSRs. It would have been great if they'd have put LRs on this banner, but of course they're not going to do something like that. Unfortunately. Oh god, the Demigra. That's one of the unfeatured cards, so that was a 3%er. It's pretty good. What else we got? Jeez, am I only getting 2 SSRs out of that? Darkness Toa. Very cool. Oh, that's a normal SSR. Hey, the Trunks. Nice. Well, shoot. I'll take it. Let's go ahead and lock these bad boys up. And you know what? Just for you guys, I'm feeling lucky. Let's do one more multi, and I think that's all we're gonna do for this one. Hope we get some Super Saiyan 3 dupes. Okay. Alright. Might get a couple SSRs out of this. That's good. He didn't instant transform. I don't know if that means anything anymore. No Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That's a bad sign. So much for feeling lucky. No. Oh, Seal Ass. All right, cool. So I got most of the units that are actually worth pulling on this banner. No dupes, unfortunately, but if these particular units because they're technically not Dokkan Fest exclusive, so I'm assuming that a lot of these Dragon Ball Heroes units are going to show up in the general SSR pool. There's a good chance that you're going to be pulling these cards in the future, so even if you don't get them here, there's decent odds you're going to pull at least 1 or 2 in the future. So yeah, kids, that's it. We did 3 multis, we discussed all the cards. Again, I mean, if you need a rundown, this banner is not spectacular. There's no LRs. Most of the featured units are kind of shrug-worthy. But if you do decide to pull, best of luck to you. I hope you get what you're looking for, especially the units that are actually really good on this banner, for sure. But yeah, good luck, and I will see you next time.